we've worked with artists such as Shakira, Louis Tomlinson, Bring Me the Horizon.
Welcome back to the Music Marketing Podcast. We talk so much about social media and how artists need to grow a fan base and engage with their audience on socials. But today it's actually talking about taking it outside of social media and getting actual fans to engage with you in real life. So Alex and I are joined today by Tom Neild from Landmark. Hi, Tom.
Hello.
How's it going?
Yeah, very good. How are you guys doing?
Yeah, good.
Good, thanks.
Good. It would be good to start off with just talking about Landmark, what it is, how it works.
Yeah, cool. So the easiest way that we try to explain, or we have to explain it, is it's been called Pokemon Go for music, or Pokemon Go for brands as well. And in essence, it allows music artists to place digital content into physical locations anywhere on the planet. So everything's accessed via mobile web. You visit a URL and you land onto a branded platform, and on that platform you have a map, and on that map there are things we call hotspots. And in those hotspots are the content that's been placed there. So audio, video, photo filters, augmented reality, virtual reality, any form of digital content can be placed into a physical location.
Okay,
What kind of artists have used the platform so far?
We've worked with artists such as Shakira, Louis Tomlinson, Bring Me the Horizon. Quite a variety of different artists have used it, but it's normally ones who have kind of a fan base who are looking for more experiences from their favourite artists, and they're very kind of engaged and captive.
So what kind of stuff did you do for someone like Shakira? What did the campaign look like?
Yeah, so with Shakira, we were kind of really lucky to kind of work with someone like her, because she's such a big artist, but she has a truly global fan base. At the time we worked with her, her social stats were kind of 250 million. So
Wow.
I think she was the second most followed person in the world, second to Cristiano Ronaldo at the time. But what that does mean is she's only one person, obviously, and having kind of engagements that are kind of that fans are looking for is kind of quite hard for her to achieve a lot of the time. So what we did with the platform is we enabled her and her label and her team to create localized fan experiences by creating those hotspots we did it in 125 countries. And the sort of thing that we did with Shakira was we started by kind of teasing her new album at the time, which is called El Dorado. And she used it to kind of announce that she was releasing the new album. So we kind of released artwork, we announced kind of track titles, so people moved to different locations to unlock a different track title. It's kind of encouraged shareability, so people were kind of sharing the images across social media. Then after that stage, we released the first taste of new music, so giving like snippets of audio, a taste of the new music video, and just using it in a way that kind of engaged her core fan base and her super fans to kind of discover what her new album was all about, and then share that with the kind of wider fan base who got a kind of secondary taste to those fans.
So it's more about kind of like creating a buzz. So I'm guessing between releases, you've got fans that just aren't very engaged. And artist fans don't engage with music unless kind of there's a release going on. And do you essentially go from release and get people talking and kind of spread it that way? Is that how it happens and the result of it?
Yeah, it's usually kind of used in the build up to a release. That's kind of generally how it's been used the most for music artists. It also works well for tours as well, so like a companion for a tour. So if you're doing something in a city, which is what a tour is, then obviously you can use the platform to scale out that experience. We worked with Vamps and their label.
Did you do a similar thing for them?
Yeah, so they used it solely for their tour.
Okay.
I didn't realise how much they actually did digitally before we worked with them. So yeah, they do so much to kind of engage fans. So they're kind of a really good place for people to look if anyone's looking for ideas about what to do digitally with their artists. They seem to kind of do so much with their fans, because I guess that's what their fans are kind of after. But what we did as part of that kind of mix was on the day of each tour date, so they're playing in an arena in a city, and we created hotspots, locations around that city or town where people move to, and the fans who were the most engaged won because of that. So there was a competition where they got to get the best seats in the house or meet the artist after the show. That kind of
That's cool.
that kind of thing.
Do you find it's more effective doing something like that where the fans have to do something physically rather than just putting a post out saying we're playing here? Have you found that the impact is massively different?
Yeah, there's a few different ways of looking at it. I think like people want to have an experience. That's kind of what a lot of kind of digital proves. That we've thought that from when we started Landmark as well. It's things on the internet can get throwaway. There's new music to listen to all the time, and it's just clicking a link, going onto a website and pressing a button, which I mean is great. Obviously your access to content is amazing, but creating something memorable is only really achieved by adding an experience into that, which is why going to a gig is such a memorable thing, right? You remember the whole night. You don't just remember the kind of songs in the set. You remember the whole thing. So it's using that kind of those kind of feelings to complement the digital experience.
Yeah, just make it more of an emotional experience rather than just a sale in a way.
Yeah, exactly. We find kind of value exchange is really important as well. So you have to have, for people to move somewhere, you have to have something that they're willing to move for. So new music or new content is really good because people who are a fan, who like their social media, who follow them, they will be after that. So you can put a physical journey in between those things, and people will make that.
How are you measuring engagement? How do you know when an artist is ready for a stunt like this? So have you ever had an artist come to you and you've said, well, okay, you've got the followers, but there's not enough engagement, and what are you looking for there to know that something like this would be successful?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So it works for artists who do have a large fan base, because you generally know if you've got the numbers, there's going to be a percentage of that number that will want to interact. But for artists with slightly less in terms of numbers on social media followings, it works well if you have a really engaged small fan base. Like if your fans are willing to do things for you, if they do like your existing content, if you do get a lot of likes for your social media posts in relative to the kind of size of your audience, then that is a good fan base for our technology to work with. So it's about understanding how they work, where those fans are as well. We do a lot of work with labels, is kind of looking at their data or helping them with their data, and you get more and more geo-relevant data from streaming services, social media platforms, and using that to look where we should be rewarding people, so where we should create experiences.
And you say that at these different locations they get kind of either a track title or something like that, but what's the content that they're putting out? Is it something like a music video, or is it something a little bit more interactive?
It has varied completely. So we've gone from doing kind of, we have them full listens of tracks. So this is the only place you could listen to an artist's upcoming single 2 days before it's released or a week before it's released. And that would just be like a stream within the platform, all the way to allowing fans to unlock separate frames from a music video. When all of those frames are collected, the video is released online. So the platform has been designed to kind of cater for all of those different content experiences in between. And we like people, or like our clients, to use it in a way that is like you would a social media platform. So you have a content plan and you're using the platform to, these 2 days we're going to do this, then it's going to develop into this. Then we're going to see how that's reacted and maybe get some more video shot with the artist, or maybe that's a good time to put a clip of the new music video into locations. So that's what's really
Does it take a while for things to kind of bubble up and people to start talking, or is it like one big hit where everything kind of goes wild? What is it? Is it kind of exponential?
It's generally the big hit. There is the big hit when you're launching a campaign, because that's obviously the key moment. That something new is being sent to people, so that's when they're going to be most engaged.
And how is it sent to them exactly? Is it like a DM or like through Messenger on Facebook?
Yeah, so it's everything is on mobile web. So this is behind a URL. So each campaign specifically has a URL that's relevant to it. So relevant to the music artist and the track name. It can be anything. And that is posted out through social media is probably the main way that that's shared. But we have had clients do obviously email databases and SMS databases work if you have that data. So yeah, we like to promote to people who do have that data for their fans. But we also would like to collect data through the platform that music artists get to use as well. So they get to add that when new people are coming on board as well.
We have a lot of artists ask us the question, like, what target audience they should be targeting in terms of like young people are more engaged and are better fans, or some artists will say they'll go for the older generation or different genres. Do you find that there's age ranges or genres which are more reactive? Because you've worked with like Louis Tomlinson, Bring Me Horizon, Shakira, they're
Every
all
genre under the sun.
different genres. So do you find that there are some genres where it's just like the fans are not engaged,
Just
or
the Pokemon
demographic?
Go comparison, you think immediately like teenagers
Yeah.
would love this.
Yeah.
I can't imagine my mum wanting to go to like a location and engage with a piece of content. Have you found that people that have an older audience don't have as much engagement there?
You do get more from a younger audience.
Yeah.
But that younger audience now has kind of got older as well, and
True.
and people are getting more tech savvy who are slightly older. We've got kind of really good stats. The Shakira project, to use an example, had really strong stats from people between like 35 and 45. That was really good numbers.
Wow,
there.
okay. Yeah.
And that was quite surprising.
And what spots were they going to? Was it like local places in each city, like landmarks in a way?
Yeah, so the platform is essentially built around a world map, and you can create locations anywhere in the world digitally, and you can use that to like tell a narrative. So that could be based around a certain theme. The Bring Me the Horizon one was it was based around kind of love, so they were picked out themes that related to that, and that's quite cool because it's telling a story. But often it can just be the right location to send people to in a town or a city. So like a big park or a town square, somewhere where you would want people to congregate and
We've seen
enjoy
YouTubers
things.
do this actually quite heavily. Obviously they don't have the technology you
Yeah.
have, but they'll create content around it. And the first thing that comes to my head is TGF Bros. They're the crazy YouTubers, and they do it every year where they do a hide and seek challenge, and they hide, I think it's like £10,000 in the middle of a city. But one time it got way too much because their audience was so engaged that they had just thousands of people just going into the shopping mall. Does that ever scare you that it might be like the audience is so large that you've just got thousands of people going to one location?
Yeah, like there's ways we've thought around that, and that is creating more locations where people can go to. So there's
more of like
probably
an
going
open
to be
area.
somewhere that's more local to you. If it's all based around one location, you could get that effect. The other thing we've been looking at as well is doing like alternate journeys per X amount of people. So if you're worried about some artists now like have like incredible fan bases that will all like you say, like those YouTubers, influencers who'll move to the same location in kind of huge numbers. So what we would do with that would be to direct people off. Once it gets to a certain point, another location would open, and we kind of disperse people that way, I guess. But it hasn't been a huge problem. We like it to be kind of used more as a kind of platform where you're engaging people in a lot of places over a kind of larger area, rather than trying to get
Everyone
thousands
to
of
one.
people to one place.
Yeah. I mean, our audience are mainly emerging artists. So we do have labels and people that work in marketing that listen as well, which this stuff would be more helpful for. But for the emerging artists, they obviously don't have this size audience. Do you think it's still worth them thinking about getting their fans to do sort of physical things?
Yeah,
Taking them off social slightly.
Yeah, definitely. I think the best way to look at it is kind of what I mentioned previously, which is that value exchange. That if you have something that maybe you're willing to give to a certain percentage of your fan base, then you can create something where if they go to it, they will get that back. So maybe that's doing something in this scenario. If you have a slightly smaller fan base, then you could do something in one location and reward people who come to that. So fans are getting something back. or you're getting kind of unique versions of physical items made to give out to people. That can work. People like having things to share as well. So we do quite a lot of work on the platform with like photo filters. So when you go to a location, you unlock a photo filter, and that has your location. It can have your name. It can have a date, and people like that, having something to share that's kind of about them or about their story.
Yeah.
What
And
do you
that's
think's
pretty-
been most effective? Kind of, is it like merch or the music video snippets? What would you say is from what you've seen?
I think it's quite encouraging from working with music artists that it's the new music that people get most excited about.
I didn't expect that.
No,
I don't know what you. I was
Well, it's
expecting
just something
merch.
that, like that it's more valuable for them. So like when you said the personalized filters,
Yeah.
if you look at the ones on Instagram at the moment where people can just make their own, people love it. I
Yeah.
thought that it'd be more of like a selfish thing than something for the artist. It's quite,
there's-
quite a nice thing to hear.
I think it does work well when you're announcing like a new album, new single, and then if you have that, because the fan base has been waiting for something for so long, and quite a lot of artists have quite obsessed fan bases as well. So they've been waiting for so long, and that having that kind of taste of something new, whether it be kind of visual or audio as well, that's kind of what's responded the best, because I think there is that kind of waiting for something and it arriving.
It's a sort of a reward in a way, where if they're the ones that have got it first before any of the other fans, they know that they're the ultimate fan, like they're the ultimate super fan, which I guess works really well for an artist that has a massive audience.
I'm really interested in like what happens afterwards, the kind of results of it. So I saw on the website you kind of link it to social media, and I guess social media is where people are going to talk about it. And what happens to spread the word? Is it kind of people taking photos of Instagram stories or screenshotting to say I found it? Does it go beyond the people who engage with it and get people talking? How does the word spread from there after the campaign?
Yeah, so when things launch, it is kind of the comments and the content that other fans are posting that is used to kind of grow the campaign. We launched a campaign the other day, and the link to the campaign got out before it had been kind of formally posted. So that's quite a good way of seeing how things kind of spread naturally. And that was a lot of people screenshotting their experience, kind of sharing comments, what they think about the experience as well. And a lot of these fans, because obviously we know what we do and it's powered by our platform, but everything is branded to the artists that we work with. So a lot of the kind of conversation is around that this artist has created something for their fan base to do. And that kind of does seem to push the campaigns kind of further and wider.
And what does the artist need to do on their social media to instigate it best? Is there any artists you've worked with where obviously you can't name them, but like you said, they didn't do enough to be able to get people to do things for you? What is the best way for an artist to get the fans engaged in doing things?
Yes, I think it's about using social media and the platform in tandem. So if we're changing what the experience is on the platform, you also need to replicate that on social media. So if you don't talk about something enough, you won't get people looking at it. And with what we enable our clients to do, you have to kind of sometimes plan your journey as well. It's not like clicking a link to a YouTube video. You can do that. You could do that now and we'd still be watching it. Even be quite rude. But with this, you click on it and you show where you have to go to, so people have to plan that into their journey. So having reminders about that can be kind of good. We allow for kind of dropping pixels on the platform as well, so you can do kind of remarketing back to people, and we do social media and streaming service logins as well, so the clients are getting that data and they can remind people who've been on the platform about what's on there.
Are there any platforms you find convert best to get the traffic? Do you find like Instagram or Facebook to actually get people to the platform?
Generally works best. Twitter seems to work really well for us because pretty much the nature of its layout is kind of a brief bit of text and then a link, and that's kind of what we're about. Instagram kind of can be slightly harder to convert clicks for what we do, it seems. So Twitter, the artists that have a really strong Twitter base are the ones that seem to get kind of the best results.
And you mentioned obviously like the filters and stuff. That's quite a new feature that's come in, especially on Instagram.
Yeah.
Are there any things that you're seeing that are upcoming at the moment which you're really hot on and you think could be really successful?
Yeah, so we've kind of been looking forward to this for quite a while, and it's but we're really excited about mobile web because that's where our platform's based. So we're excited about kind of augmented reality, looking at kind of 2D holograms. So a hologram of a music artist appearing in a location and playing a song or talking about that location, and that's kind of where we're kind of at, and that's what we're kind of excited about. So yeah, allowing platforms like ours to do what's been available on apps for slightly longer, but the fact it plugs into social media and anyone can access it is exciting.
Cool. So like your favorite band could literally play a show in your bedroom, and you could just place them in your bedroom and they do a full set.
Sounds like
Exactly.
from, Spy Kids.
Yeah. That would be so cool.
That would be really cool.
Yeah, we so those technologies are kind of really cool. We like having the location element attached to that as well. So doing varying content on location as well. So yeah.
What do you find is the end objective? So is it like, do you find there's more streams, or is it sales? Is it more followers, or is it simply just awareness? So when you're working with labels or the artists, kind of what do they measure the success of a campaign?
Yeah, I think with our kind of technology, when we started, it was more about doing something new and doing something different. And it's kind of moved from that kind of engaging super fans, and now it's more to having kind of hard results off the back of that. And the streaming service logins are kind of doing really well for us, and we've kind of been optimizing click-throughs to streaming services and any external links as well. So some campaigns have had around like 30% of people who visited going through to streaming services. That's on top of people who've signed up with streaming services as well, which can prompt pre-saves or follow artists, follow playlists. And that data is kind of now what kind of labels and clients are looking for.
I think as a platform, it's super interesting because I think we hear all the time that everyone says, oh, everyone's got their head stuck in a phone. They're not ever going to actually do anything. Like, people are saying as well that people aren't even going to gigs anymore, but the sales for tickets are insane. And something like this shows that people are willing to actually do something. Do you think that that's going to become an issue anytime soon, that people are so kind of head down in your phone? There's so much competition. You've got gigs every night. You've got just staying and watching Netflix. Do you think it's going to get different as there's more competition for things to do, basically?
That's a very hard question. I do like the fact that people, this kind of experiences like ourselves are encouraging people to kind of go out more, and even if you are using your phone or kind of the experience is paired with your phone, and you're still getting that physical experience. I think that's a really important thing. Hard to know how things will change.
Pokemon Go was huge, and now it's exactly the same in a way. So
we were going kind of before Pokemon Go came around, and
they copied you.
Kind of, but that was a really valuable moment for us because they just proved that people will move for an experience, and that's kind of that allowed us to kind of get that initial growth, and people were interested because of that. And I think it's encouraging. I think technology does give you more ability to enjoy the kind of the wider world. So hopefully that continues.
Cool. I think that was all my questions.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah,
Cool.
I'm good.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Where
can people find Landmark online? Are they just a Google search, or where are your socials at?
Yeah, so we are on Twitter, so you can read us Landmark on Twitter. Our website is Landmark, which is landmark.it. Quite a hard URL. We're also on LinkedIn as well, for business type people. But yeah, come and say hello as well, get in touch. We can talk about any upcoming campaigns or anything.
Cool.
Brilliant.
This
Thanks
was,
very much.
Yeah, super
Thank you
useful.
much.
Thank you so much. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next one.